Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. Juventini, it is hard today to stay in front of the camera because we lost yesterday in Coppa Italia final versus Inter 2-4. I would have loved to be here to celebrate a title, a trophy, to continue the positive streak. Instead of that, we have to say that it's the end of an era. End of an era that we started in 2011-2012, winning that Scudetto after really difficult and dark years. We were back and we actually continued to win trophies for 10 years. That time is over because mathematically after yesterday, we will have the possibility to lift 0 trophies in the air. Not only that, is also the end of a season because yesterday the season ended. I know that we have still 2 games to play versus Lazio in our home and versus Fiorentina, but the season ended and also an era. We will have to speak about a lot of things in that video. The game of yesterday, because I don't want to take any excuse. I don't want to talk too much about the referee. We did yesterday during the live. We all saw the game. We know what happened. Yes, it is an addition to the loss of yesterday, but it's not the main cause. We have to speak about what went wrong without taking any excuse. Speaking about Giorgio Chiellini, you see the shirt, you see the book. Giorgio Chiellini, last 2 games with Juventus, also him, end of an era. We'll speak about our Capitano that decided yesterday to announce after the game that it will be the end this last season with Juventus. And speaking about Paulo Dybala, speaking about the future also at the end of the video. I will not speak about Mercato today because the video will probably be a bit longer. I have a lot of things to speak about. If you want to know about Mercato, if you want to remain up to date about Mercato, download OneFootball. Link is in the description. You can also go easily with a QR code. They spoke about a lot of names also today. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, Di Maria, Renato Sanchez, Paul Pogba. You can go, you can read a lot of articles. It is for free for iOS and Android. Do it now because you will have all the latest information about Mercato. Mercato that will be really important for Juventus to not live again the same season as we just had in 21-22. Let's start speaking about Juventus. Let's start speaking before Dybala and Chiellini and the future. Let's start speaking about yesterday's game. Yesterday's game again was the same, exactly the same picture of 2021. Starting actually with easily a first attempt of our competitors, the first attempts of the team that we are facing. First attempt, first goal. Mistakes of Juventus, individual mistake, a team that is not pressing the player, giving Barella all the time to score a phenomenal goal, because we are speaking about a phenomenal goal. And this is again a mistake, something that we saw so many times this season. First attempt of the other ones, it can be at the 6th minute as yesterday, it can be at the 20th or the 90th minute, whatever happened at the first attempt, they are scoring. Something that Juventus need to change, especially if you are going into a final lacking motivation, lacking grinta, lacking energy, because that's how we started yesterday. Maybe the legs of certain players were shaking yesterday and they were not ready to play a game like yesterday, a game facing Inter that we were not able to beat for the 4th consecutive times. We were able to draw 1 time, we lost 3. At the end, do we want to speak about Inter a bit? They are stronger. Inter in 21-22 was the strongest team of Juventus. If we want to talk about the referees, we can, of course. If we want to talk about all the things that we want in the world, we can, of course. But at the end, if you are not able to win versus a top 4 team in the season, if you are not beating Inter after 4 possibilities, 2 times in Serie A, 1 time in Supercoppa, 1 time in Coppa Italia, it means that they are the strongest team. It is what it is. Will they be also the strongest team in Serie A versus Milan? We don't know. Hopefully not, because guys, if I already disliked Inter a lot, I dislike them even more after the disgusting game of yesterday. It is what it is. The mirror of the season was also represented yesterday with the Danilo that was not able to play 90 minutes. He tried to suffer for his team to being present because there was no other solutions. He started and he was injured. Again, a disaster. Again, an injury. Again, a forced sub. Again, the way that we had to change our plans. This was not the first time. It can happen to everyone in a season. It was not the first time and it happened again. Dybala in, Dybala out. Again, the same mirror of the season, the picture of the season. A great Dybala, a bad Dybala. Dybala starting moved with an invisibility. He was totally invisible. He was not impacting, was not able to play between the line to find our top scorer Vlahovic that yesterday scored. And then in the second half, the best version of Dybala, the one that made me fall in love with him. It's a pity that we didn't have a Dybala that was consistent in the season. I'm speaking about all the season, but also in some games where we saw the best but also the worst of Paulo Dybala. Players without energy. This is also a picture of the season. Players that gave up at a certain moment after the penalty conceded. Players that couldn't run for 90 minutes. Physicality, we know it, we are speaking about injury, but also the pace of Juventus that a lot of times didn't find that motivation, that strength in their legs to continue to run like we did in some parts of the game. This was one of the pictures also of 2021, like the subs that were not at the level. Subs that we tried to change, but they didn't make an impact. How many times did we see Moiskin entering the field in the season that was not able to give anything? I'm not speaking only about goals and assists, but also in terms of performance. Speaking about Arthur, that didn't change anything. A disaster. Also Allegri doing some mistakes like putting Locatelli into the field and probably too early. Locatelli didn't change. We will not speak about Locatelli not being a great player because he is. But probably after the injury, probably it was too soon. Too soon to start, but also especially in a final where we had to change the score. Playing Locatelli was a mistake, especially if you have a Miretti. If I want to blame Allegri, yesterday I blame him especially on that one. Not about his behavior after the game, because we are all human. And in a game full of tension like yesterday, it can happen. It should not happen, but it can happen. But especially not because I read about the criticism that Allegri is receiving after the subs yesterday. I want to just go into tactics a few seconds before speaking about Giorgio Chiellini. Put a maximum of like, guys. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel if you want to continue to support it. But yesterday, the subs were correct. I know it's a bold statement that I'm saying here. It's a controversial statement that I'm saying here. A lot of you will not be happy with what I'm saying, but the changes were correct. Yesterday, after the 2-1, Juventus starting playing a bit more. We were closer to the 3-1 than to the 2-2, but at a certain moment we started having difficulties with an Inter that knew that after 90 minutes they would be eliminated, and they tried to push. Juventus was already suffering before the changes. When did the changes happen? Why did Allegri go to a 3-5-2? It was only 4 minutes after Inter putting Dumfries and Di Marco in. This is the tactical reason why we went to a 3-5-2, because with Di Marco and with Dumfries they had these fresh legs. They had the power to start to be really dangerous, and we saw it that from that moment Inter was able to find also the way to enter our box. They were putting Cuadrado in difficulty as a right back, and we changed it going with a 3-5-2, playing as a mirror to stop. And from that moment on, yes, Inter continue to have that pressure, they continue to have the ball possession, they continue to be near to our goal, but not dangerous. When did they score? With a dubious penalty, with a dive of Lautaro Martinez. That's why Allegri changed it, and to be honest, without that penalty, the strategy was working. Did we have the legs to actually continue to push? No, we didn't, but with that 3-5-2 we were even able one time to go in front of the goal and going nearly more to that 3-1 than to that 2-2. Guys, now it's time after 9 minutes of video to speak about Giorgio Chiellini. Let's forget the game of yesterday. It will be hard, but we have to. We spoke about it. Juventus lost it. It's not the referee that made us losing it. Yes, he was part of it, but that's not the main reason we lost it. We have to accept it. We have to swallow it. We continue. We move on to a chapter that makes me really sad even more than the loss of yesterday. Is Giorgio Chiellini, il capitano that will stop. Yesterday probably was the best on the field, the best man of Juventus, and it's really strange to say that our best guy of a Coppa Italia final, first of all, didn't win that trophy, and I really wanted him to win it. It is what it is, but he will not be there next year. Yesterday, after Juventus was sleeping for 20 minutes, he was the one that woke Juventus up. Woke them up with a really great tackle where Dybala was not able to go go for. He gave up. Chiellini didn't give up. He went for a big tackle and he woke up Juventus, giving that grinta that was much needed at that moment. 559 games at the moment. He will probably play 2 more. 561. He's there with Juventus since the season 2005-2006. The only one that was able to win trophies for 10 years in a row. From next season, there will be a new era, and we will have to replace him correctly. Not only a player that is really aggressive, but also with leadership. I don't know if we will find a leader in defense, but we will need a leader in the field, because the grinta shown by Chiellini yesterday is not present in any body of the team. Not to Bonucci, not to Dybala, that will also leave, not to any player. We will have to find that grinta. That grinta that probably Vlahovic has in him, but he will have to fight also with maturity, with also managing some emotions in particular moments of the game. Not Morata, that yesterday unfortunately was crying. Crying why? Because maybe he knows that they are the last possibility to win a trophy with Juve. Maybe because he was just really sad because we lost that trophy. I don't know if Morata will be there or not, but he will not be the leader. Guys, we go to Paulo Dybala. I want to come back on Chiellini in another video, a special dedicated on video of Chiellini and his career. Speaking about Paulo Dybala, 91 games with Juve, 115 games. We took a decision to stop with Paulo Dybala. It's the end of an era for Chiellini, for the winning trophies in a streak, but also for Paulo Dybala. It will be hard to replace the beautiful version of Dybala that we saw yesterday in the second half. It will be difficult to sub the beautiful and great player that we saw for the first year of Dybala in the career. We will have to change the way that we are playing, because without Dybala it will not be the same Juve. What is the future of Juventus, my friends? De Ligt, Vlahovic, Locatelli, Chiesa. 4 different names that should be and will be the future of Juventus, the pioneers. De Ligt played yesterday really bad, probably one of the worst one of Juventus. I was putting all my bets on De Ligt having probably MVP at the end of the game. I was really trusting him. Yesterday he flopped. It is what it is. For me, he remains one of the best defenders in the world. He's 22. He has all the career in front of him. He can be one of the leader of the future Juventus. I trust blindly and securely Matthijs de Ligt. It's not a bad game that will change my opinion on him, and it's also not what I was reading about Vlahovic in the last days that will make me doubt about Vlahovic being the future of Juventus. The guy is a beast. The guy is a future phenomenon. Give him time and we will see wonders. Time, but also the resources, with maybe a Federico Chiesa that we will still have to wait a few months before seeing at full power. Federico Chiesa and some new players. Will it be Di Maria? Will it be Gabriel Jesus? Will it be another player? But we need to feed him, because from the moment the guy has the ball under his feet, the guy is able to do wonders. The wonders, and he has that DNA of Juve that we are missing. Locatelli yesterday didn't play great. We knew it, but he's a Juventino that deserves to be there as a starter or as a first sub. I don't care, Mezzala or Regista, but he's a pioneer of the next future. And then I will close also with another one that will be the future, that you want it or not, my friends. Massimiliano Allegri will be the future of next season Juventus. Did he do some mistakes this season? Yes. Did I want Massimiliano Allegri back at Juventus last season? No, I didn't. He's our coach. I respect what he did in a real difficult season. A season that was incredible, losing Ronaldo, having all these injuries, some referee decision, all the things that could happen happened this season. The same thing that Pirlo also had last season, because he also had a really difficult season. We started a project, we have put the fundamentals for next season. We have to take the best what we did this season, and it was not a lot. Who are the best? We just spoke about them. The future guys, the future pioneers, the will of Juventus between that 46th minute and the 60th minute of Juventus to change the score and to not agree losing versus Inter. We have to also take the papers of today, the front pages of Gazzetta dello Sport, that was actually super happy that Juventus lost. We need to start back with Allegri, start back with the players that we just mentioned, changing some really important roles, because we need some mercato again, that you can see on OneFootball what they are saying. My friends, I can tell you season 21-22 is over for me. We will go with the last two games because we have to speak about them, but we have to focus now already. From Agnelli to the last supporters on 22-23. That's what we have to do, all of us. And hopefully with a new shirt, it can bring us a lot of joy, because I can guarantee you that next season, none of us wants to live another season like that. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you to listening to me. I know that some will not agree with what I'm saying, and that's okay. You're welcome. You're welcome to say what you think on the channel as long as you're respectful. Thank you. Forza Juve.